Hello everyone. I'm going to be talking about Module 4, Understanding My Community, and I'm going to be talking about Dodge City Middle School. So first off, we're going to start off with customs and traditions. So we are a middle school that serves 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And the first thing I'm going to talk about is our open house, where we have included food. So I'm not quite sure if your open house has a whole entire catering system for the community members that come in, but ours did this year, and this is a tradition that I believe we're going to continue with because it was such a hit this past year. So we have open house with food. Our sixth graders are not able to join sports, but there are a lot of different clubs that they can use, from intramurals to art club to 0 Hour Scholars Bowl and Stuco. Stuco is a program or is a club that they have to be elected to be on, so it's student council. So that is something that sixth graders are also able to do. 7th and 8th graders can do all the traditional sports from football all the way to basketball. And then 7th and 8th grade girls can join drill team and cheerleading as well. We also have 2 dodgeball tournaments that happen every semester. So the PE department runs these dodgeball tournaments along with Stuco. They get all the brackets set up and they choose a charity that the money is going to go to, because students have to pay to be able to play on these dodgeball teams. We also have Locks of Love. This is a tradition that has been ongoing, but it's actually stopped because of COVID. So students were able to grow out their hair, and then at some point in time, like in May, they would have an assembly and they would cut their hair and we would donate their hair to Locks of Love. This hasn't happened since COVID, but it's something that I hope we can revamp up again. The next are Title I engagement. So 2 different things that I've seen happen these past years. We've had a carnival, which is always a great hit. It's great to get the community involved in this as well. Anyone can come, and then it's great to raise money for the school. And then parents attending school for the day. This is also a really fun way to engage our parents and community because they get to kind of see what a school day is like for their children, and it's kind of an easy day for teachers as well because parents are involved, so it's wonderful. We also have some end of the year festivities. So the Cardinal Jam is a talent show. The teacher video is a video that teachers make where they kind of showcase their talents, their abilities, or just kind of make fun and do some TikToks. And then finally we have karaoke as well, which is always a hit. Teachers can do karaoke or students. Next are population characteristics. So I know there's a lot of kind of statistics on this slide, but I think they are kind of important because it builds kind of it gives you a good breakdown of what our school is really like. So we have 6th through 8th grade students, and they range from ages 11 through 14. There are 814 students in total, so it's a pretty big school. We are dominated by females with 53%, and our race Hispanics with 84%. So very majority minority school. Economically disadvantaged students are 84% as well. So we have a high needs in our school, and our ELLs 42.3 compared to non-ELLs 57.7. So ELL stands for English Language Learners. So we have a pretty high amount of those. The beef packing plants are our biggest employers, and we've had a recent influx of Somali, Guatemalan, Puerto Rican, Cuban, and Dominican people in our town as well. So our population is diverse, but it's a majority minority town, I would say. Next are communication channels. So Talking Points is the biggest one. This is what we use as a district. It allows us to contact specific parents or send out announcements to the whole entire school, to a certain class, to just a few students. So this is what we use mostly. Parents get those announcements or through a text. They can also opt in for an app, but if they don't want to do the app, then they can just get the text, which is great. It's just like texting a parent. We also have Facebook pages, so DCMS and DCPS, so the middle school, as well as the district Facebook pages where announcements are sent through, and all stakeholders can check those. And then we also have a newsletter. So this newsletter is also really important. Every single team, counselors, librarians, everyone that's a part of our school has something to say in the newsletter and kind of has updates about what's going on. Next, we have leadership. So the influencing agents versus the groups being influenced. So our Board of Education kind of is the top of everything. They're the ones making all those decisions and making sure that the school is following through with what they need to follow through. And then we have our superintendents, the elementary, secondary, and superintendent of curriculum. So they are also making sure that we're doing what we need to do. The director of ESOL and diversity is in charge of English language learners and making sure that we are fitting their needs. The union leaders are making sure that we are doing what we're supposed to do for teachers and following all of those different guidelines and mandates. And then our administrators, once again, also making sure that everything is being followed through by teachers. So the teachers, parents, certified staff, students, community members, they are all the ones who are being influenced by those different leaders. Our economic conditions. So as I had stated previously, 84.3% of our students are economically disadvantaged, which is a very high amount of students. I feel like you can really see that. It's sad, I would say, in some ways, because you know that a lot of our students really need a lot from us. It's not just the education, it goes so much more into that. And I feel like that's something that we focus on, specifically with social emotional learning, making sure that students, that we're meeting them where they're at. The beef packing plants are the biggest employer, as I had stated earlier, and we do have a cheese factory coming soon. So that's also going to be something that's going to kind of change and shift our talent a little bit. We are considered a Title I school, which means that low-income families make up at least 40% of enrollment. All of the schools in Dodge City are Title I schools. The community supports bond issues, so I'll get into that in just a moment, but specifically and especially when the bond issues have something to do with the school or the district, the community is very open and wants to spend our money there. So for teachers, these are the economic conditions that I added. That negotiation team works really hard to make sure that we're getting paid a reasonable amount. I think since I've been here, every single year we've gotten a raise, which is wonderful. Stipends and bonuses, there's a lot of opportunities for you to get paid more, whether that is whenever you're covering, whenever you are staying after school for a PLC, for whatever reason. Our district is really good about getting us paid. Our district also promotes leadership opportunities, and many Kansas Teachers of the Year, Master Teachers are a product of Dodge City, which is also wonderful. So political conditions, we are a Title I school. That means that we're state mandated. So we do have to follow a lot of what the state asks of us. This can be something that, a lot of patrons don't understand, but it's something that the community has, that we as a district and as a school make sure that we're communicating with stakeholders so that they understand that, sometimes we are a little bit blocked by red tape. Our city commission is made up of 5 Dodge City residents, and this is something I think the political conditions, what I'll talk about later, is something that I feel like I need to brush up a little bit more on. Social tensions. So we are a majority minority school district, as I had stated earlier. So this is something that it's really important for us to be culturally responsive and competent. Not all of our teachers are Hispanic or have some sort of Hispanic heritage in any way, so it is really important for teachers to understand the students and to be empathetic to their situations. We also have an influx of Somali, Puerto Rican, Guatemalan, Cuban population in this town, and most of the people that currently live here are mostly Mexicans, so it's kind of a different shift, even with the Mexican community having to understand what Puerto Rican, Guatemalan, and Cuban populations are like. So it's something that everyone kind of has to get used to and make sure that they are being respectful towards everyone. The community wants to know that students are being kept safe in the wake of what's happened in Texas and, really all across the nation. It's something that we take really seriously, making sure students are being safe. We have a safety team, so that's something that the community really wants to make sure teachers are keeping up with. There's also a teacher and sub shortage, as everyone knows, and that's another thing that community wants to know. Are students getting high quality education? So as we have subs in long-term sub positions, so the community wants to know, is that going to be okay? Are students going to be learning from someone who is not a certified staff member? Next, we have multicultural issues. So the menu has seen a shift and is adding more cultural food. So I just saw albondigas on there the other day, which I thought was crazy because when I was in school, I never had something like that. I never saw the menu and saw something that I ate normally. So I thought it was kind of interesting and really great that we are making those changes. I mean, we are majority minority school. It would make sense to have foods that the students know on their menu. We celebrate and aim to include all cultures. I don't think this is just for DCMS. I think this really is for our district. But something that I have seen is that there are not any translators for the Guatemalan community. So whenever Guatemalans come to, or whenever they want to learn English, they first have to learn Spanish. And it's kind of difficult because we don't have anyone to translate in their native dialect, which is most of the time called Quiche. So it gets a little bit difficult for us to make sure that happens. So I really feel like that's one of the biggest issues that I've seen. We have a multipliers team who is getting trained to become culturally responsive and competent and make sure that they are also bringing that to all schools. So next we have previous community efforts. So tornado shelters were installed in all schools. So every single school has a tornado shelter. We have tornadoes here in Kansas, so that is something that we have to have. There have been expansions to the high school and also to the middle schools so that we can accommodate our growing population. There has also been installment of buzzer systems and key fobs in all the schools so that we are safe and making sure that we are eliminating or trying to minimize any big things happening. Meals on Wheels is a program where students are fed breakfast and lunch throughout the summertime as well. So a very great way for us to reach out into the community. Public opinion. So I feel like the district is seen in a good light from the community. This is because parents attend conferences, and when we've conducted parent surveys, most of the time everything is very positive, and the community feels, or parents feel, like the school is in a good school or positive school climate. We've also had many Teachers of the Year and Kansas Master Teachers, and we do have the highest starting salary in Southwest Kansas, which is really great. There is a teacher and sub shortage, so once again, it's something that the community struggles with, our students getting a high quality education. I think I would love to see more community involvement in the middle school. It would be more ideal. We only have one job fair all year, so we are wanting to get the community involved, but we're only doing it one time a year. So I know that we could do so much better in that. And then something that I feel like is also important, that parents and community members need to know a little bit more about technology, specifically our Hispanic population. They are, it's something that they really struggle with, knowing what their kids are doing on technology and knowing kind of how everything works. So the Connect team, or our computer applications team, is working on a presentation to show parents. So from weaknesses to strengths, I feel like the slide that I have the least amount on is on the political conditions, because I don't think I'm too aware of all the politics that come or that happen in and around the school. And this is something that I really need to do a little bit more research on. And I feel like it's really important to know that, so that, I know kind of what's going on with the politics. Each of these slides is important because really they all paint a picture of the whole community, and it's important to understand the whole community, especially if you're an outsider coming in. I feel like I would know a lot about DCMS because I currently work there, but if I were someone who was hired on as an administrator, I would really need to know all of these different things, all of these slides, so that I could make a good picture of what this community is all about. And this is my PLO 5 correlation. So I was able to explore different parts of the community and reflect on all I knew about them. And I applied this knowledge in different parts of my community and shared it so that I could paint a thorough picture of the community I serve. My relevancy statement: this assignment is relevant to my learning because I need to know about all these different parts in my community, and it also kind of forced me to reflect on what I really don't know about so that I can become more involved. In going through this assignment, I was able to reflect on the district I serve, and I know that I don't know all of the political ins and outs, but it's something that I really need to start thinking about.